Alright, sports fans, if all has gone well, you're looking at my desktop, wondering what in God's name are we getting into today? Because this does not look like a pipe. You're quite right. There is no pipe in today's video, because today's video is going to be about a video game. Now, before you get upset, there will still be pipe videos. I've finally gotten out of busy season at work, and I'll talk about some of that things through the video as we keep going. But I started the channel to kind of explore my hobbies and kind of present them to anyone interested in seeing them and how I did them. So to that end, I cycle hobbies, and pipe smoking is not at the forefront at the moment. Video games are, and we're going to take a look. So today we're going to be playing Ryzom. It is a rather interesting little game that I found. As you can see here, I run Linux, so the options are a little limited. Excuse me. We've got a terrible frog going on today. But Ryzom is, God bless America, one of the few games that run very well on Linux, and I have no problems with. Hopefully the game audio is not just slaughtering my actual voiceover audio here. I am recording them separately, but we are going to create a new character for our Let's Play, so we'll get that started. Now this is your basic MMO. For those of you who don't know what that means, think World of Warcraft, EverQuest, things like that. Only this is community based. It's community developed. It's free to play. It's a pretty good game all in. So we've got our 4 major groups and races that complement those groups. We've got the fighters, the crafters, the explorers, and then your magician. Now the explorer is also a forager, so you've got your people who find things, people who make things with things that were found, and the 2 people who are needed to protect those individuals. Now, I generally go as a Furos or a fighter, and I'll double up and do some crafting, so we're going to keep him male. I'm quite satisfied with that. Let's make him, as height's fine. Put a little weight on him. A little scrawny in the arms and legs as well. That's probably a little too stocky. Let's back that down a bit. There we go. Is that my game audio? Oh, that makes me happy. I thought I wasn't going to be able to hear it because I was recording. You may hear a little bit of the echo in the background. I apologize. I like the game audio. For the face, well, this hair's got to go. Let's back that down some. Let's see. What do we got? Got like a ponytail thing going on here somewhere. Oh, there it was. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know that bright yellow is very warrior-like. That's good. I'll take that. Yeah, we can rock that. I'm not big on the tattoos in any game, ever. Let's see what our eye color options are. Yeah, we'll go green. Alright, let's fix this busted ugly mug. I gotta admit, the default settings I don't think are very good. Let's see. Let's bring the mouth down and the nose to follow. Maybe I can't quite get where I want to go. Let's put those eyes a little closer together. Bring the chin in. Eyebrows down a little bit. Give him an actual face. A little bit more in the nose. I'm happy with that. And then your last option here is actions. You can pick a specialization between the previously mentioned options: fight, maybe, magic, forage, or craft. We're going to stick with fight. It doesn't really matter. One thing about this game is everything is localized, so you can't break your avatar. If I got to level 75 and suddenly decided I wanted to take an interest in crafting, I could still pursue that quite well without scrapping this character and starting another one. So this doesn't really matter up here. I don't know why they haven't taken it out, but you can pick it as you see fit. We're going to leave ours at fight. Click finish. It's going to ask me what community. I'm going to stay in the default. I prefer WASD for movement. For what I use it, you can move with your mouse, and I don't always use these, but that's my preference. And then you have to have a name. Now, a lot of games like this, your name is your account name or your username. Not so with Ryzom. You have an account with up to 5 characters, and each individual character has a unique name. Now that name it essentially acts as an account. Any friends you make on this character will only be visible to this character unless you make contact and add them into your contact list in another character. So none of my main characters' contacts or discovered locations or anything like that are going to stick around. This is going to be a completely new generation. So we're just going to look through the names they give us here, because I find it's easier to let the game generate a name than it is to try and come up with one that's not taken. And I, for the sake of this recording, am going to try to find something that's relatively easy to pronounce. Denalis, that sounds good. Let's see if it's available. Oh, sweet lord, on the first try. That's good. So, here's my main character. He has progressed some in life. He's not in his underwear, toting around a small knife, as this gentleman is. So, we're going to go ahead and get started and jump in world. I'm not sure how long this video is going to run, it being the first one. It's probably got some extra time on it, but we'll see what happens. Oh, and it's night. So we've dropped into the world now. It gives you a little welcome message, tells you that it's an organic planet, yada yada yada, tells you what to move around. Got your basic interface. You've got your mission journal over here from where you can select any active missions. It'll tell you more or less what to do. You've got your chats down here with your around, regional, universe, system information. If you click universe, it tells you it's intended for player help, yada yada yada, and that you should not use it for general chat or team chat. That's fine, we know that. There is a user configurable chat, which I'm going to set up here. Not in a guild, so I'm not going to worry about that. I may end up in a team. I do not want the English uni in there. I do want the system info in there, and I do not want universe, because region will cover the entire starting area. That's really all I'm going to need. And I stretch that out a bit. It's basic key-based control of most things. You can press K on your keyboard, you get your key map laid out up here, and all of these are changeable. You can change them to the assignment that is fitting for your playstyle. I'm going to leave the defaults for the most things because that's what I'm used to. I am going to come down here and change one of them, and that is the cancel action. Q is unassigned, and I don't like hitting more than one key if I don't have to. So that's that. You can right click and you get options like this. You can hold both mouse buttons and move, and if you hold right click and move around, you can look about. Now, I don't know how well this is recording. I capped the recording at 35 frames a second because, quite frankly, that's pretty clear. The human eye can't detect much past that with any meaningful increase in much of anything. And this isn't a super fast-paced shooter or anything. Like, I'm not going to be just whipping the screen around. But you can look about. You've dropped in the middle of a camp here, and there's this guy in front of us with a giant glaive, I guess. But he looks like somebody we should talk to, so we're going to target him. Right-click. Oh, there's a dialogue option. Hello, I just arrived here. We'll pick that. This is a bit annoying. The screen doesn't just pop up for you. You have to sometimes move your view about to bring this into proper view. But he's going to give us a little test here, or a little text, and say, oh, you know, hi, we knew you were coming, yada yada yada, what's your name? My name is Denalis. So I'm going to say that. He'll say, you know, hello, great. basically this, I'm not going to read through all this because I think it's ridiculous. I know some people really enjoy that when the Let's Player reads all the dialogue and stuff. I'm just going to leave it there for a second so you can see it. Pause it if you want to actually read it. I'm not interested. I've read all this several times. I'm going to go away. He says, talk to this individual, and I happen to know he's right over here in this little shed, so we're going to run over and speak with them and see what is going on. Actually, you know what? Let's check our recording time real quick. Make sure we're not getting long-winded here. We are at 10 minutes. I think 20 is acceptable, so... Okay. Took note of the time there. Oh, you're asleep. Wake up. We've got stuff to do. I've come to begin my training. Yep. I want to go for combat. I'll leave that for those who want to read it real quick. There we go. He's directed me to go talk to Julien Gutierrez. The names in this game are absolutely horrible. It's not like Skyrim names where you can make some phonetic attempt. Some of them are pretty outlandish. You'll notice the person I'm talking to now has a very interesting name. So I slaughter those all throughout the game. I'm not going to worry about it. If you look up here on my map now, I've got a distance counter, the name of my target, who is my quest, who happens to be a person in this case, and an arrow indicating what direction I should go. If I pan my camera around, it will spin and indicate to me more or less that I'm pointing the wrong direction. I want it to be straight up, which is straightforward. So we're going to run over here, talk to this fiery woman of battle, and find out what our first task is as a refugee here. A little backstory. Oh no, we'll pick that up as we go. I'll leave it for the viewers to find out as the player would. Right click, missions. Oh, I can get missions from you, aka quests for those of you who are more WoW oriented. Hunters and Prey number 1. Learn the basics of combat. I accept your challenge and shall meet it. Yeah. I hear you. Yep. Those of you reading, I apologize if I'm going fast and you're just pausing and playing, but I know what is being said here, and I'm not really interested in reading it aloud. I've always hated that particular aspect of reading or English class or whatever. And I'm not terribly enthralled with it. Like, I've never done a Let's Play. This will be the first, and quite frankly, I'm good at talking to myself in my head. It's remembering to say the things I intend to say aloud, so that the rest of the world may, soak it in. She's just going through giving a brief description of the 3 basic attacks I get up here, which are a default attack, one that is more accurate, and one that does more damage. Each, of course, having a different action cost in relation to what you need to execute it. We've got somebody down there in chat saying hi. Okay, kill 3 suckling Yubos. And yep, if you want to read that, you can. And now my compass is pointing 62 meters almost directly in front of me to the Yubo Garden. Yubos, I don't really know what they are, but they're a small defenseless creature that I am about to slaughter. Looks as though we have another newcomer here. They're easy to spot. They're typically naked, wielding a knife, much like myself. So, it would appear as though she has cleaned up the local Yubos. That looks like a good one. I can either click on it to target it, as I just did, or I can hit spacebar to target whatever's in front of me, like I just did there. And then you can use your mouse to click on the action items up here, or you can use the corresponding numbers or shift numbers. You've got 10 whole frames of actions to go through, if you should have that many. I find it helpful to have all my basic ones on the first frame, crafting and foraging on another, or, eventually probably just 1 per frame, so that I could separate the actions out a little bit, because I'm hopefully not in combat while trying to forage, but we're going to go over here and have a hack at this here Yubo. And you can see the health bar here on the Yubo going down. It's visible over the mob and over here. Oh, what in God's name just happened? My fight skill just went up, but that isn't what I was referring to. So I am looking through the system info to see what just happened. That was not just your basic level up. I don't know what that was. Okay, so we're going to right click quarter. You're going to quarter things you can gather. Unfortunately, I talked and messed around too long and didn't get the opportunity to pick up the items that the poor U-bow dropped. So we'll go at it again. I keep missing because he's dodging, so I'm going to switch to the accurate attack. It's a little slower, but it hits more often. There we go. A little message here saying what I gained and what, and instead of right-clicking this time, I'm just going to double-click, which will automatically quarter. Tells me what loot I've picked up. Take all, and I need one more U-bow for this quest, so we'll just have at it. Hacking away. This is terribly exciting, I'm sure. Yep, let's go. There we go. Oh, I'm now level 3. I know. It's happening all quite fast. Don't worry, it's supposed to. So, according to my mission journal here, I'm done. I can go back and report to the big angry woman with the sword. I think she has a sword. I can't remember. She might be standing there unarmed because she is so bad, nobody will mess with her. As you play on, you do hear stories about how she gets angry. So, I have to assume everyone just knows not to mess with her. Mission accomplished. Don't you have anything more difficult? Yeah, I'm a little cocky. That's okay. She's going to tell me that I did an okay job and that I really didn't do anything, but I did what I didn't do well. Well, now she wants me to talk to my fight trainer, which I'm just going to call EC, I think, or Issei. We're going to go with the last name because that was easier. I can either introduce myself, ask who he is, or just develop skills. I'll go ahead and throw up this dialogue. Good day. He's telling me that he's here to develop me. This is essentially your level up process here. He's going through the stats you can do now and what he recommends keeping up to date. And of course I got yet another level for that, so I'm going to develop skills. Now here is where you're going to select the things you want to spend your points on. I've leveled up 3 times in my fight category, which if I press B will show you my action progression under fight, which will later split into melee and range after I hit 20. I've got 4 out of 20 levels. And if I press P for my identity info, it will also tell me here without visiting a trainer what I have available to spend in what categories. I have 30 points in fight, so we're going to spend some of those. The taunt power, if I click on it, it brings up this little info box, taunts your target to make it attack you, so it's for pulling aggro, for those of you who are more frequent flyers. I want that. I know it's useful. Self-heal life is good early in the game. It's essentially a timed out self-heal. What in God's name? Okay. So it's a timer-based thing that will let me heal myself should I get into a battle and look like I'm going to lose. The downside is it will disable it thereafter for 2 minutes, which most of the time isn't a bad deal. So I'll take that. And then Constitution is your HP, your health points, and those are always good, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. I've gone from 200 to 250 and it's begun charging up. And now I'm out of skill points. I was under the All tab. You can also look under Actions, which I bought the only action. It was Taunt. Upgrades, which we'll get into later. Powers and Auras. Oh, Taunt's over here. Okay, so maybe there were no available actions yet. Characteristics are your basic player attributes. And this kind of follows for all the trainers, regardless of what they are. This is a fight trainer. There are others, but we have pretty well, I think, been at it for almost 20 minutes now, which is, yep, 19 minutes, 48 seconds. that's probably a pretty good video to start out with. I may record some more this very evening, so if you comment on this one and wanted to see something or had comments and you don't see them implemented for several episodes, that's probably why. I'm in the mood to record tonight, and I'll probably sit down and do several of these, so I'm going to tell my poor refugee here to just have a seat in camp, and we'll call it a day at that. We'll see you for the next episode.